Right. Morning, Asher. How you doing?
Morning, Luke. Yeah, I'm good. How are you doing?
You good, mate? So you're going to join us for the first edition of Tree Talk today, and we're going to be having a chat about the ALFA Trust, something which yourself and a group of like-minded individuals set up a little while back. So could you maybe just start off with telling us a little bit about yourself and introduce yourself to people?
Certainly. My name's Asher Bowyer. I'm originally from Scotland, live up the west coast, northwest coast of Scotland. I'm a forester, my brother, myself, both trained in forestry and then arboriculture. And along with that, I got a higher national certificate in wildlife management. And it was a great introduction to that kind of background and upbringing. Was a great introduction to the arboricultural industry, if you like. I'm now a level 4 arborist with consulting qualifications, and I've been working in the arb industry for about coming up nearly 20 years.
Oh yeah, awesome. So the ALFA Trust, who is part of it? Who set up the ALFA Trust?
So the ALFA Trust, or the ALFA concept, is something which I have wanted to do or try and do for years. It's something which has kind of been on the back burner up until last year. It's a charity which, so we decided that the best way to develop this and to make it all happen was to create myself, Kathleen, my partner, and a young arborist who has worked for us in the past, Joseph Newdick, got together. We sat down and talked about this, and we were all on the same page and to go with the similar goals that we have in our industry. We thought this was going to be an awesome way of trying to promote and make people aware of us as arborists, but also the benefits of trees. The trust was set up to benefit trees, people, and the environment. Is to try and bring those three together and show people that without, that all three are very much interconnected on all levels, lots of different levels, and that we for our people on the planet, we really need them.
So, I mean, that's a brief description of who set it up. I mean, why? I mean, what does the trust do? Should I word it? How can the trust benefit other arborists or other individuals that want to be part of it? I mean, how can it help them?
I guess ALFA stands for Arboriculture Land and Forest Associates. It's always been my intention or a goal of mine to try and bring these professionals together within these industries, more so arboriculture, because that's what I'm directly involved with. Bring them together, look at where it can be improved, look at where we can create knowledge within the industry, and bring this knowledge and professionalism to the public domain on a higher level.
Would you say that's by raise the standard of arboriculture inside New Zealand as a collective, to try and start spreading some of the messages that you feel that I could be lacking in certain areas, for example, tree retention, stuff like that, sustainability?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, so Joseph Newdick, for one, is a real advocate and a real great example of a young arborist coming into the industry that has got all the right philosophy and perceptions, if you like, of being a responsible arborist. You know, he's there for trees, he's there for people, he's a great people person, and that's his strength. My strength is very much, or my I suppose passion, if you like, is trying to retain mature trees, you know, medium to mature trees, and the reasons behind, you know, doing that. So there's a whole raft of reasons why we should do it. There's a whole science behind why and how we can do it. You know, why we should do it and how we can do it. Removal is not the only option. There's so much other options available to us, but we need the guys and the girls within the industry working together on the same level, if you like, to make this happen, but also to bring that knowledge and professionalism up a notch across the board within the industry. And we've got some really, really good young guys and girls working within the industry. But I think, you know, I think everybody would appreciate, and it seems to be a global, this current quality or poor quality of tree work that goes on, or a lack of understanding around, you know, the importance of doing good tree work and the correct tree work, not just in order to run a business, but in order to give the client the best results moving forward, and the environment as well. I mean, the urban canopy environment, it's crucially important to us all. And us as arborists need to come together more, I think, in uniting that point and bringing it to the public domain on a higher level. I think it's critically important.
Tell us a little bit about that. The oak tree that you guys you organised through the ALFA Trust for that pruning day, and how you went about stopping that tree from getting removed.
Okay, well, I mean, it was, I suppose, a good example of what the ALFA Trust can do. We're not bound by limitations on our initiatives. You know, we've got similar end goals. We've got similar views within the trust on what we want to try and achieve. This is not just restricted to us. This is about involving like-minded people within the industry to do good. The oak tree in Te Tiko, which we did at the end of last winter, was a tree which is over 100 years old. I did some research into that particular tree and the history of Te Tiko. It was around when Te Tiko was completely different. It was at the banks of a river, and the river is now probably 300 meters away, and it's been developed all around it. When we were asked, originally I was asked to go in and quote for removal or do some sort of significant tree work to it because of pressure from neighbours, which is often the case. the conversation kind of went along the lines of, we really need to look at other ways of managing this tree, which doesn't include removal. It's a significant tree. There's a heritage status on buildings, but there isn't on trees, or not often. So we went into the quoting and discussions with the client around the cost of reducing that tree and retaining it, bracing it, because it had some decay in one of the large leaders, and it did need bracing, and it did need some work doing on it because of the targets associated with the tree. When money was discussed, it then came to a grinding halt because, one, the tree owners didn't feel that they wanted to do anything to the tree or spend any money on it because they felt that the tree was fine, and then the neighbours really just wanted something to happen. So there was a potential there for the inevitable, bearing in mind that we live in a forestry area here. There was a potential for that tree to have been felled, and it would have been end of problem. So I thought about it for a while, and I suppose tried to come up with a solution to try and manage the situation where the tree health was retained for the longevity, and that's where I came up with the idea. Let's involve some of the elite, certainly within our country, Scott Forrest and Andy Nerriman, two of the best climbers in New Zealand, to come and put on a practical workshop there, and reduce the tree, put the bracing in, do it for free. There was a donation made to the trust. We covered some of the costs there, for the guys and girls that turned up, and it was awesome to see all these people come together. There was about 15 people there altogether on the day. At one stage, we had 8 climbers working at once, all professionals, all on different levels. It was fantastic to have the likes of Andy Nerriman, Zane, Scott, and these other, very, very good arborists there with these other good arborists, pointing them in the right direction if they needed questions answering or whatever, and sharing that knowledge. And we completed that tree, the reduction and the bracing in one day. Everybody felt really good about it. The tree has responded really well. I see it every day when I drive past it. And it was a great thing to have done. It wasn't just a competition. It wasn't, it was a voluntary thing where guys got to come and climb an awesome tree and work with some of the best and the elite in the industry. And that kind of thing is, it can't happen all the time because we've all got businesses to run, but it just shows you that there are ways and means of retaining trees, money. I think a lot of the time, unfortunately, I think the undercurrent within the industry pushes arborists into positions they don't want to be in, who are trying to do a good job because they do have businesses to run. And then there's this competition thing that goes on the different quality of work that goes on. So it was a good result.
Yeah, what's great about that is I know a lot of people did travel quite far to come and be part of that, and what it shows is there is a lot of people out there with a similar mindset to what you have and what a lot of us have. and there was new arborists, very experienced guys that were there, and all of them will go back to their individual, whether it's a training organisation or their companies, and then they'll start spreading the same word that those 15, 20 people were all talking about, and changes the mindset slightly when you do go and look at trees and you look at jobs and you're trying to come up with solutions. And I thought, that was a really good thing to do, and something which I think a lot of people would have taken a lot more from, not just that initial day.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. I mean, it was like I say, the thing that stood out to me was that these things can happen. It's possible to make them happen. It's just actually doing it. It's having the drive and the will to make it happen. We've found, that the trust is a good way of doing that. It gives us direction. It brings these people together, and we've got some credibility now, and we've made submissions to Parliament on the RMA. We've done public radio interviews on the benefits of trees, the health and well-being that's involved with that, and so on. So, I mean, we're not just individuals now trying to do all our own thing. We're actually trying to bring people together to share resources to have a better impact.
Yeah, definitely. So, talking about bringing people together, how can people jump on board and join you guys on this? Is there any way that they can? Well, what's the best way to get in touch? Or if anyone's got any ideas or any similar situations like what we were just discussing, is there a best way to get in touch or to follow the trust?
I mean, you can become a member. I think there's information on the website about that. You can get in touch with us through Facebook, or give me a call. I think my phone number will be on or our phone number will be on the website, and we can help in any way. I mean, we're very much there to try and support as well, or to try and assist in whatever way if people want to do, they just don't have the resources to make it happen. So we want to be able to say that we're there to help like-minded people do good within our industry and make it a better industry.
And one thing, a question I got for you is, I suppose now's a perfect time to be thinking about these sort of initiatives when we're all at home. It's a good time to be positive and start looking about, what we're going to do when we do finally get out of the lockdown situation. Around that sort of time, we'll be starting to getting into the planting. Is there anything through the ALFA Trust that can help people with the sourcing of plants and trees to maybe plant in the local community or schools, etc.?
Absolutely. I mean, we can certainly assist with funding applications, different initiatives. We last year we planted ourselves, I think it was nearly 5,000 trees, and that was just a small group of us. We got some of the local schools, primary schools, and got them involved. We had 30 kids turn up to one of them. It was like trying to herd cats. I mean, there were kids going all over the place. It was a great day. The teachers really responded well to it. The kids loved it. The farmer or the farms that we planted our trees on, one was a wetland restoration, and another one was just a small heritage block that we were looking to retain. There's a huge amount of appetite out there to make these things happen, and it's not out of reach for anybody. But if we can help, we can certainly look at assisting with funding applications and talk about the different options available for that kind of thing.
Okay, awesome. So I think, maybe just to cover off, so your best bet if you want to be part of this is to either check out on Facebook and search the ALFA Trust and join the Facebook page, or you can jump onto the webpage, alfatrust.org.nz, and there's a load more information on there. And I'm sure Asher won't mind a phone call during these times and while we're stuck at home, if you guys just want to have a chat and talk trees. I think I really appreciate your time, Asher, and look forward to catching up again soon when we're finally allowed out in the great outdoors, eh?
Yeah, awesome. Yep. Look forward to it. And thanks for the opportunity.
No worries. And look after yourself, and we'll talk soon.
Okay, come on.
Cheers. Thank you. Bye-bye.